Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey, welcome back, guys. This is Heather Hope with The Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. This is where we talk about the law of attraction and your business. Happy Thursday to you. So this is a daily podcast based on my daily book called The Inspired Entrepreneur. You can find it on Amazon. And let's jump into this. Welcome. Okay, so today's really good. We're going to talk about inspired action. Really a key piece. Actually, I'm just reading it now. Let's jump into it. Today's April 15th, and this is a good one. I almost remember writing this back when I wrote this, but not quite. I know I must have had like such a moment, because everything that I wrote had a moment like of inspiration. About 2/3 of this book was written over the course of 2 years or so on my Facebook page. The last third I wrote when I was putting the book together, because I didn't have 366 passages to put in this book. So I wrote a bunch more, at least 100 more, I think. So, but all the other ones were written in the moment, posted on Facebook. And I had this thought this morning to write again. I just have been so disconnected from my Facebook page that I just don't feel like putting anything on there. I mean, I put all of this on there, and I have content that's scheduled, but nothing, from my mind to the keyboard to Facebook happens anymore. I just kind of got done with it. But I had this kind of thought to do that this morning. I don't know. It's an interesting thought. I have a lot of thoughts. So a lot of things that I keep thinking about. So, okay, April 15th, guys, a key piece to manifesting exactly what you want is taking inspired action. The key to inspired action is actually taking action when you feel that nudge to take action. The way I run my entire business is strictly through this key. I literally do nothing until I feel like doing it. Have I made that clear enough with the way that with what I talk about? I don't think there's anything that I force myself to do on a daily basis, except I don't do anything by force, like making myself do anything. I know from experience that if I'm putting a lot of effort into something, it's not going to pan out. I get tired. I get moody. I get cranky. I get like, what the hell? What's the point? So I've learned to take action when I feel like taking action. And I found more success by doing that. So I can't have I get a little, maybe I'll want to say motivated by people who are like, oh, daily scheduled, blah, blah, blah. This is what they do. And I might try someone else's schedule for about 2 days, or, I like the idea of structure. I do. But for me to actually do something structured every day, like a routine every day, doesn't work. I get really burnt out. I just want to live my life the way that feels inspiring to me. And anybody else's thing, that might be good for them, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be good for me. So I'm really more interested in, I was talking to Roger about this the other day, about the eccentric people in the world, like from our past or present, whoever. Eccentric, like those eccentric entrepreneurs, those eccentric wealthy people, because their weirdness made them extremely successful. I don't know. I'm very intrigued, because I listen to Abraham, and it's like, you have to be really different than society to completely change your life into what you want, the big dreams that we all have. You have to play this game differently than what other people are doing. Like, you can't look at what is. You can't talk about what has been. You can't do any of the things that pretty much every human does. You have to focus on what you want. You have to focus on the story of the things that you want. So you can't continue telling people the same story if you want that story to change. You can't do it. That's why everybody just lives the same life every year, every decade. You can't do it. And that's just the normal way of being a human, right? So you can't, you got to get away from what all the other humans are doing and do what feels right for you. So there's a lot of things that I've kind of broken what's it called? Broken my, I don't even know, the habit of, doing what other people do. And just one thing after another that I'm breaking the habit of. I'm, there's one thing that I would really like, and just talking about it. So anytime you talk about something, you're just putting it back out there, because there's no no to the universe, right? It's whatever you put your focus on is what you're saying yes to. So there's a lot of things that I never want to talk about in my life. And there's a lot of topics that I would really like other people to stop talking to me about. You know what I mean? And this is literally a huge reason why I stopped coaching, guys. When I realized that me listening to my clients, as a therapist, as a coach for 20 years, right? Me listening to my clients' problems or my clients' issues, right, didn't help me in my life. Because anytime you put your attention on any topic, you're putting your attention on it. It doesn't matter if it's someone else's problem, because it can be yours too. It just creates a mixed vibration within yourself. And the more I learned about this, I was like, oh God, I really have to stop listening to people, including my own clients, because it was so hindering my life. So let me tell you though, I stopped my coaching program at the end of 2020, the very end of December. And ever since, so now we're looking at 3.5 months since I stopped coaching completely. My life is completely different. Not completely. That sounds really extreme. But I am so much happier. I am a much happier person. I am attracting things quicker. I am just a better person. I am happier. I really like focusing on just me and what I want in life, and not have to listen to other people who, continue to struggle with this, So it's just night and day, guys, night and day. So if you're in a helping profession like that, where you're listening to other people's problems and you're having a hard time, dig into Abraham about helping other people and stuff like that, and about mixed vibration and about all of this, because it is night and day. It is night and day. I am 1,000,000 times happier now than I ever was in my life, my entire life, because I stopped trying to help other people. I stopped listening to the stories, because I've been doing this for 20 years, helping people one-on-one and in groups, right? Night and day. I am happier. I don't miss it at all, and I struggled with the notion of doing that, but I just kept gravitating towards it, because it was it felt like the right thing for me to do, because I was just bogged down and it was on my mind and it was difficult. So, and I followed what felt good, and it was exactly what I needed. And it just brought me I've manifested a whole lot more money. Money just literally comes to me out of anywhere. It's really incredible. Like, I don't even know how many money making things I'm doing right now, but I'm making more money now than I was when I was coaching. And I'm not even like, I thought about it yesterday. I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just doing things that I feel like doing, but I have more money now. But it's not like I'm charging anyone for anything. It's really interesting that money can just be here all the time, a lot more. And the same with my husband. He has a lot more money now too. And it's like, so I didn't dig too much into that idea. I was just like, oh wow, I don't even know what I'm doing except for being happy and really focusing on me and no one else. And it's incredible. So if you're in that profession, my recommendation is to get out. Seriously. Everybody, like if you're a coach, it's just people have the ability to fix themselves. They really do. They really do. They just really need to go fix themselves. It's just because it's not worth the mixed vibration that you have. And it's not about protecting your energy. That's not even it. That's a false premise right there. It's a mixed vibration. Whatever you put your attention on is what will be in your vibration. Like my Roger's like told me, oh, there's a new series on Netflix. And he told me I'm like, well, what is it about? It doesn't sound very pleasant. It's called The Serpent. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a happy, positive thing to watch. And he's like, well, it's about like a serial killer or something. I'm like, that is not happening in my house. Now, trust me, I used to love crime stuff, and I used to love like SVU, and I used to love all this stuff. I got into it for a few years. My grandmother loved it. So I did. And now none of that is happening. None of it. There's no news. There's no crime stories, no investigations, nothing like that, guys. Nothing. Because I don't want that in my life. I don't want to feel paranoid. I don't want to have things manifest that I don't want to manifest in my life. I am super picky. I am so insanely picky about everything at this point. And it feels so good. Like, I'm happier now. I took this from the stories that Abraham talks about with us about Esther. Esther's in a tight bubble, and she is incredibly successful. So I took her example of, she's a channeler, right? In the simplest, way to describe her, she channels. She does not work with clients. She does not participate in groups on Facebook. She does not do anything like that. She works in an office. She works from home. She channels. She gets on stage. She channels, period. That's all she does. She writes books, or she used to, right? That's it. So she doesn't work with people. And I'm like, no wonder she's so successful. She writes one email a week, right? On Wednesday mornings, she sends out an email of like a little bit of what's going on. And then for the upcoming thing, she sends out, quotes every day. That's automated, right? She does the business side of her business, but she does not interact with the public. She doesn't interact with people one-on-one. Now, she used to do phone consultations or whatever. She was still channeling. She wasn't counseling. She wasn't coaching. She wasn't getting involved in people's stuff. And I took that to heart when I was deciding on what to do last year. I really just studied what she did, or what she does. And I was like, she doesn't do any of the things that I do. No wonder she's got such a great vibration and a great, successful life, because she's not dealing with a whole bunch of other people. Does that make sense? And so I was just like, oh, I got to go that route. So that's why I wrote my book. That's why I started my podcast. That's why I stopped coaching. That's why I was like, I'm going to do what, I'm going to put it out there, but I'm not going to sit and try to help people one-on-one or in a group, because it's just too much of listening to other people's stories that got too much into my thoughts, into my vibration. So Let's get back to inspired action, because I don't even think we're talking about it. So a key piece of manifesting exactly what you want is taking inspired action. So it's taking the action of the thoughts that are popping in your head. So yesterday we talked about being in the receiving mode, right? We're always in the receiving mode. Our mood indicates what receiving mode we're in, either good or not so good. And so when you're in a good place and you're receiving thoughts that are like, oh, I think you know what, about like texting somebody or asking somebody something or going somewhere or writing something or whatever it is, that is the action to take. We talked about intuition a couple days ago. That intuition, when you feel something like, I think I could do this, or just having a random thought. Like I keep saying that the biggest manifestations in my life came from a single simple thought of something to do. And I did it. And it manifested. It was like, holy crap, that was way too easy. That was way too easy. That's a terrible statement, right? That was easy. Get the easy button out. That was easy. Things are supposed to be easy. So they are easy when you're lined up, when you're in a good feeling place. You get a thought to do something and you do it. And then poof, there's a manifestation. Literally, that's how it works. So when you have these thoughts of something to do, they're not huge thoughts. They're just the next logical step. They're just another thought of like, oh, I could do that. Or I think I'm going to text somebody. Just a thought. Text, just a thought. Take the action when the thought comes in your mind. If you're in a good place. So the key is to get into a good place. Meditate every single day. Visualize what you want. Write this new story of the things that you want. Get into a good feeling place. Listen to music. Listen to Abraham. Do the things that are fun. Remember to have fun every single day. Have fun. Just remember that you're here to have fun. You're not here to work 20 hours a day and stress. You're not here for that. What would be the point? What would be the point of being in physical form and being stressed out all the time? I don't think that that's a life to live. I don't think it's worth it. I know it's not worth it. Personally, I don't feel like it's worth it. If I'm not having a good time and my life is miserable, it's not worth living. That sounds terrible, but that's how I feel in those moments of like, no. So it reminds me, have fun. You're here to have fun. You're here to expand. You're here to create. You're here to explore. You're here to do the things that you want to do. You're not here to stress out and have a miserable life. That's not why you're here. Okay, guys. So remember, get into a good feeling place. And the thoughts that pop in, which if you're in a good feeling place, you're in a good receiving mode and you'll receive good thoughts, the $1 million ideas. Just follow whatever the thoughts are. Follow them in the moment. Follow them. Do the thoughts that pop in your head, do those. And you'll see a huge difference in your life. You're like, holy crap, that was easy. It's really incredible, guys. Okay, I'm going to let you go and have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.